Imagine being the most powerful ruler in the history of Jerusalem. You possess infinite wealth, absolute authority, and an unmatched intellect. Yet, despite having access to literally anything money can buy, there is a hollow ache. You realize you have no idea what is actually good for people to do with the few short days of their lives. The king treats his existence as a laboratory. He sets out to test distinct variables of human experience, collect data, and draw a conclusion. His hypothesis is straightforward. By systematically testing every worldly pursuit to its absolute extreme, he can manufacture a meaningful life. The king is testing the same variables many of us prioritize today: status, wealth, and pleasure. If even his unlimited resources fail to produce a result, it suggests we are looking for fulfillment in the wrong places. Phase 1 begins with the senses. The king floods his life with hedonism. He cheers himself with wine and deliberately embraces folly, denying his heart no pleasure. The immediate data is negative. He categorizes laughter as mere madness and concludes that extreme pleasure accomplishes absolutely nothing. Looking at this experiment framework again, he strikes out hedonism and pivots to phase 2, physical productivity and legacy building. He undertakes massive projects. He builds colossal houses and plants sprawling vineyards. He designs intricate parks filled with every fruit tree and constructs massive reservoirs to water the groves. He acquires huge numbers of slaves and amasses more herds and flocks than anyone before him. He gathers the treasure of kings and provinces and acquires a royal harem. He possesses the maximum of human and material capital. Through all of this acquisition and empire building, he maintains a strict control factor. His analytical mind remains sharp, allowing him to observe the process objectively. He does record one positive data point. His heart experiences a genuine, if temporary, delight in the physical labor and the work itself. Yet, when he steps back and surveys the totality of what his hands have built, the final analysis is grim. The output is entirely meaningless, a chasing after the wind. Neither extreme pleasure nor infinite material accumulation yields a lasting, measurable state of fulfillment. For the third and final variable, he compares the objective utility of wisdom against madness and folly. The initial result is obvious. This image illustrates the immediate advantage. Wisdom is superior to folly. It functions exactly as light does against darkness, giving the wise man eyes in his head while the fool stumbles in shadow. But the entire experiment shatters against a hard, unavoidable endpoint. A boundary exists where the same fate, death, overtakes the brilliantly wise king and the stumbling fool equally. At that boundary, the data is erased. History is indifferent. The wise man will be forgotten just as quickly as the fool. This flowchart maps a terrifying reality. Upon death, every project and coin funnels to a single successor. They could be an absolute idiot, yet possess total, unearned control over a lifetime of the king's toil, dismantling the empire on a whim. This realization causes a complete physiological breakdown. The king begins to hate life. His days become consumed with grief, and even at night, his mind is paralyzed by anxiety. Because death inevitably erases legacy and hands control to the unknown, human striving for permanent significance is a source of profound psychological agony. The king's mathematical error was trying to hoard meaning as a permanent possession. But meaning is a fleeting state. It cannot be stored in a vault. The corrected state looks completely different. True fulfillment is found in the simple, present-tense actions of eating and drinking, and finding quiet satisfaction in one's immediate daily work. This localized enjoyment of basic sustenance comes from the hand of God. God grants wisdom, knowledge, and happiness directly to the person who pleases him. The sinner, however, is left with the endless, exhausting task of gathering wealth, only to eventually hand it over. True fulfillment is impossible to manufacture through infinite worldly accumulation. It is only accessed through daily gratitude and alignment with God in the quiet reality of the present moment.